Hey everybody, it's your boy Captain Hunter coming at you again. Thank you so much for taking the time to check out this video. I appreciate it. New subscribers, I appreciate it. Let's dive into this. Sticking with the political aspects of it, right? The FBI has been busy. These mayors got these got these FBI agents and government agents really busy. So let's listen to this story about your girl, Super Mayor Tiffany Dalton, pissing off the fire department now, right?
This is an NBC5 News exclusive. They put their lives on the line when people need help. But some firefighters in a South suburban community are raising concerns about the money that is supposed to be spent on their retirement and health care benefits. NBC5's Regina Waldrop spoke with one firefighter in Dalton who's now demanding answers.
All right, before they get into that, listen, the city I came from had all these problems, allegations, I should say, of the money being spent inappropriately, pensions not fully funded, all that type of stuff, man. It almost seems like par for the course. Of course, these are small stories in isolated places, but we're going to cover two stories today. This story and the Oakland story. So let's dive back into it.
The ongoing saga in Dalton now spilling over into the fire department.
But when the mayor first started to run in 2021, we did endorse her, and then everything went sideways.
Adam Farrick has been a firefighter in the village for 10 years. He's also union rep for Local 3766.
We have a ton of concerns.
Most revolve around financial issues. These are some of the grievances the union has filed against the village. Farrick claims many of the village's 21 firefighters don't want to speak out for fear of retaliation.
And there's always that scare of retaliation of what's going to happen if we don't beat to their drum.
Farrick claims money taken out of their checks for a retirement plan not going where it should.
I pick the amount that I would like with taken out of my check, and then that money is supposed to go to nationwide. It has not been happening.
He also claims firefighters are having issues with health insurance, which the village pays for. These are some of the documents shared with NBC5 that say premiums have not been received.
Members are getting claims denied, and we did file agreements over that as well.
Trustee Brittany Norwood tells us these issues are very concerning.
It's very sad. It's sad because for the last 3 years, my colleagues on the board and I have been questioning how the money is being spent. We've been fighting for transparency so that we can have the answers to these financials.
Firefighters say they've been working without a contract going on 5 years, and they claim the village is refusing to sit down and negotiate.
We all come here because we love this place.
But you just wish.
I was talking before. I put my microphone on mute. 3 years they have been fighting for this, looking into indiscrepancies, and 5 years these firefighters have been working without a contract. And this is, you got to be more diligent. I wonder why it's taken 3 years to look into this. And I'm sure that this representative here, he's got to stay on top. I'm sure that he's been on top of it, but these other aldermen or council members, what have they been doing for 3 years? You don't know where the money's been going?
I wish that the upper administration could get it together and do the right thing.
The Henyard administration did not respond to our requests for a statement. In Dalton, I'm Regina Waldrop, NBC5 News.
Regina, thank you.
Right now at 4:30, disorder in the village of Dalton that we've been covering for months is now impacting other suburbs where Mayor Tiffany Henyard also has a leadership role. Henyard is also the supervisor of Thornton Township, which includes a total of 17 towns.
Elected officials are speaking out about budgets, federal probes, and financial records. Regina Waldrop is in Markham with more on that story.
You have been led astray. You have been bamboozled.
All right, we covered that story. So we're going to jump over to the other story that I want to talk about. The FBI raiding a mayor's office from Oakland. Let's jump over to that story here. So this is a kind of a new story here. Let's check out this story. This is Oakland. FBI raids.
We broke the news this morning, and we've been covering everything that has unfolded over the past 12 hours. This story has been developing all day and all over Oakland. Before dawn, FBI agents raided the Maiden Lane home of Mayor Sheng Tao. Other agents, including from the IRS, raided the Embarcadero offices of California Waste Solutions. The FBI also raided 2 homes on View Crest Court and Skyline Boulevard, linked to the Duong family, which runs California Waste Solutions, a major garbage vendor. We have team coverage from reporters spread out throughout Oakland to help you understand the possible link between all of these people and places.
ABC 7 News reporter Cornell Bernard is at Oakland City Hall, where the council is meeting right now to discuss the political reaction to all of this. ABC 7 News reporter Ansar Hassan joins us live with a focus on the Duong family, talking trash and the power and the money that goes with it. But let's get started here with ABC 7 News I-Team reporter Dan Noyes.
Yes, he joins us here in studio to explain what we know so far, Dan.
Well, Amma and
before he jumps into it, trash collection, if it's not city owned, city operated, if these are private industries, a lot of times those are big mob ties or mafia ties. So
and the FBI confirmed only that they carried out, quote, a court-authorized law enforcement activity at the mayor's home. But that was not the only stop for agents today.
I like that. Court-ordered activity. Court order. What do you say? Court ordered. I'm going to read it a little bit later. Court ordered activities. Court ordered law enforcement activities.
More than a dozen FBI agents emerged from Oakland Mayor Sheng Tao's house after 4 hours inside. They carried boxes, plastic tubs, and trash bags and left without comment. Witnesses heard a ruckus before 6 a.m. today.
About 6 o'clock this morning, I heard a male voice yelling to open the door, open the door.
Nina Medina happened to be staying in the neighborhood with friends. She's president of the National Latino Peace Officers Association, here for a meeting with the new Oakland police chief.
The federal government doesn't force or obtain warrants into one's residence without probable cause. And when it rises, in my experience, to the level of the federal government, you're talking about some significant issues.
Once the FBI left, I went.
Yeah, that was well put. Some significant issues. No, she's right. Yeah, I mean, you're getting FBI warrants and they're raiding your home in early dawn. That's kind of. I mean, that's when they do it. You know. I just started watching a show on Apple TV, Presumed Innocent. Pretty good so far. I like it. Like 3-4 episodes in, and a new episode's supposed to be airing every Wednesday. Pretty good so far. I enjoy it, but think of the early morning raids, and they did a raid in the guy's house in the show. But anyway, but yeah, no, this is the way it's done, and you know they were in there for 4 hours looking for obviously some specific things. So
went to Tao's door to check reports that had been kicked in or rammed through. There was no damage to the door.
You guys see that? Please remove your shoes. I wanted FBI agents. You guys remove your shoes. Your IRS agents. You guys remove your shoes before you went in the lady's house.
Door or sill. Later, Mayor Tao's partner and father of her 2 children, Andre Jones, emerged with a bag and refused to comment before he left.
Got a brother?
Law enforcement sources tell me this is a public corruption case with the FBI, IRS, and U.S. Postal Service working together.
Postal Service.
Agents hit several locations, including the offices of California Waste Solutions. We spotted IRS investigators there and saw these agents leaving with boxes of evidence late in the day. The company was started by David and Victor Duong, who were under investigation by the Public Ethics Commission for funneling money through straw donors to council members, a story first reported by Oaklanside in 2020.
Yeah, that's that corruption. You know, these waste companies, not all of them, obviously. I'm not saying all of them, but these waste companies that are privately owned, you know, they do shady business, a lot of money laundering and funneling money and stuff. Yeah.
Tao allegedly received some of that money. She also traveled with the Duong brothers who funded the trade mission to Vietnam last summer. All this in a week with her recall being approved for a vote.
Oakland is in crisis. The mayor's office is in crisis.
Sam Singer has guided political campaigns and corporations through various types of crisis. He says the future does not look bright.
In the last 24 hours, 40,000 voters turned in signatures to have the mayor recalled. This morning, she wakes up and the FBI is knocking her door down. I don't see how she overcomes this. It's likely that she will wind up having to resign.
It has been a tough week for the mayor with that recall being approved for a vote. We reached out to her office and have not received any sort of comment. She canceled an appearance at a news conference this morning. It will be interesting to see when and how she makes her first appearance in public facing this investigation. Amma?
All right, Dan, thank you so much for a look at that insight. Now, our team has been trying to hear from the city about everything that happened today. New at 6, ABC 7 News reporter Cornell Bernard has a reaction from an Oakland City Council member.
Andre, do you have anything to say?
Mayor Sheng Tao's partner, Andre Jones, had nothing to say as he left Oakland City Hall Thursday following a raid by...
This brother's driving a red Hyundai? You funneling all this money, allegedly, and you're funneling all this money. Your girl is your woman is the mayor, and you're driving a red Hyundai.
Federal agents at the Oakland home they share and other locations. The news sending shockwaves through the halls of Oakland City Hall, where we were told the mayor's office was temporarily closed for the day. The doors to Mayor Tao's office were locked. Oakland City Council member Carol Fife had this to say following a closed-door council session.
What are next steps regarding the mayor and her alleged involvement in this federal raid?
Thank you for saying alleged. We don't know what's going on. This is not something that the council was briefed on, that the Oakland Police Department told us about. I don't think that they were involved, so I have very little to say because we have very little information.
Vice Mayor Rebecca Kaplan addressing the room.
Yeah, a lot of times police departments are not privy to this stuff. They're not privy to it. I think that the assumption is, and I'm probably going to try to have an FBI agent on. The assumption is that they're all in bed together, right? Whether it's the fire departments, the police departments, park department, they think they're all in bed together, right? So they try to have a completely separate and removed investigation, right, with federal agents who are distanced from this. So they don't tell police departments about all this, right? So operate correctly, move correctly, right?
Her home was also raided, posting on X, nope, not true. The campaign to recall Mayor Tao is demanding that she resign immediately due to the FBI raid. In a statement, the campaign said, while the FBI raid does not prove her guilt in the ongoing investigation, we already have multiple smoking guns indicating Tao's lack of fitness for public office. Oakland Chinatown community leader Carl Chan is upset to hear about the FBI raid and worries it pulls focus from more pressing issues facing the city.
I always suggesting and telling many elected officials, when you are serving as a public servant, you have to be very extremely careful how you are dealing with the public trust.
We made several attempts to reach out to Mayor Tao and her staff, but no response today. In Oakland, Cornell Bernard, ABC 7 News.
Federal agents raided several other homes today, including 2 linked to the Duong family, owners of California Waste Solutions. ABC 7 News reporter Anza Hassan joins us live from Skyline Boulevard and a home there. He's been there all day gathering information about who lives there. Anza?
Yeah, Dan, good afternoon, good evening. The investigation here ended more than an hour ago. We saw investigators leave with at least 10 to 15 boxes, 3 computers. They wouldn't tell us what they found, but we do know that U.S. postal inspectors are often involved in financial fraud investigations. Just after 4:30 p.m., U.S. postal inspectors...
I'm going to give my cousin a call. He was a postal inspector. I'm going to give him a call and see what he knows. Not that he would know about this particular case, but what their role would be. I'm going to give him a call and find out. Maybe he'll come on the show.
Inspectors wrapped up their investigation at David Duong's home in the Oakland Hills. No comment on the content of the evidence they found, but it did end an almost 10-hour investigation.
I think anyone who's been around Oakland politics for a while knows about the Duong family. They're very involved. They're prolific donators to candidates who run for council, who run for mayor, Alameda County officials as well.
Justin Burton served in former Oakland Mayor Libby Schaaf's office and worked with then City Council member Sheng Tao. He's concerned about a business trip she took as mayor to Vietnam, which he says was paid for by the Duong family. Burton says that may have been a political risk.
The people who are impacted most by today's news are Oakland's residents. They need to know that their mayor is not at the center of a federal public corruption scandal. And if she is part of this investigation, and we don't know all the facts right now, she needs to let her residents know that she's not going to be distracted, and this is a matter amongst attorneys.
Earlier in the day, the FBI raided the home of Duong's son, Andy, who lives a few miles away.
I started hearing, this is the FBI, open up, come out with your hands up.
This neighbor, who didn't want to be identified, said she heard FBI agents saying they were delivering a federal warrant. Around 11 a.m., the FBI inspected a Mercedes-Benz registered to Andy Duong, parked outside of his house. 20 minutes later, an unidentified couple was seen leaving in that SUV.
Now that's an SUV, right?
Investigators say no one has been home all day and that no arrests have been made. It is still very early in this investigation. Officials.
Why isn't the mayor's wife, the mayor's boyfriend, mate, whatever, driving an SUV like that?
Say it could be a few days before they have an update. Reporting live, I'm Ansar Hassan, ABC 7 News.
All right, Ansar, thank you.
And ABC 7 News insider Phil Mateer joins us now live in studio. Phil, you were out there this morning when the raids first began. I mean, the FBI raided the home and office of a major recycler that does business in Oakland, the mayor's home. What is this all about?
Well, if we take a look at the initials involved, the FBI, the IRS, and the U.S. Postal Service, that points in the direction of financial questions.
Sure.
We're not talking about guns, we're not talking about drugs, we're talking about that sort of situation. It's not unusual. We have a company here that is doing business with the city. They have an exclusive contract for the curbside recycling. It was given to them under a bit of controversy years and years ago. There have since been questions raised, as Dan Noyes put out recently earlier in the broadcast. What we have here is a relationship question between the mayor and this company. Will we get quick answers? Likely not. That's not the way the feds move. The feds move slowly and methodically, but in this case, rather publicly. Showing up at the mayor's door at 5 o'clock in the morning is sending a message pretty loud and clear.
Let's talk about sending a message. Just yesterday, we were talking about how the effort to recall Mayor Sheng Tao went another step yesterday, calling for her to just resign.
Right.
How is this going to affect that effort? They were already at her house today.
That's a decision the mayor's going to have to make. She has to take a look at the entire situation.
But this will only add fuel to the fire. Obviously.
Absolutely. What it does is, no matter what the outcome of this, innocence or whatever, you are innocent in the eyes of the law until proven guilty. But in the court of public opinion, if the FBI shows up at your door, a cloud descends upon you. And between now and when she's facing that recall election, this is not going to be resolved. She is going to be constantly under investigation, whether anything happens or not. And the feds showed that. They did this much the same in San Francisco. We just finished up a couple of years of corruption investigations, scandals, and convictions that included people, department heads, having questionable relationships with companies that the city had contracts with. So here we go.
Yeah, that's bad. I know people don't like to pay their they don't like to pay their for garbage services and things like that. But this is a common thing. It happened in San Fran. It's common. It's common where these people get into bed with the politicians. They want to keep that contract so they fund their campaigns and do all kind of illegal things that they should not be doing according to campaign finance laws and whatever else, right? Money laundering and all that. So this is a problem, and it's better to not to have it, in my estimation, not to have it privatized. But this is the risk that you run.
Again, if you're cleared, it's not going to be it's not going to be anytime soon.
What does it mean for the city of Oakland? Because City Hall was raided too.
This is it's very bad timing for the city of Oakland. We had the mass shooting yesterday in Oakland, ongoing problems with crime. We have a budget deficit that is looming that is quite large. There are a number of areas where Oakland really needs leadership and decisive action, and this is just going to further cloud it. And it's not just Oakland. Also, we're having a recall of the Alameda County District Attorney on top of this. But this is Oakland. It becomes more than political. It becomes actually running the city. I cannot remember the last time a sitting mayor, had their house raided by the FBI.
Okay.
Happened in the 90s where I live at. Yeah, happened in the 90s where I live at. All right, maybe late 80s, early 90s where I live at. All right, so that's him. So let's go to the recall effort, right? So this is a story from The Guardian. Let me make sure you guys can see it here. Can you see it? Can you see it here? Yeah, okay. So this is the story from The Guardian. FBI raids first-term Mayor Sheng Tao. Let's see. Agents also conducted searches 2 homes owned by members of the politically influenced Duong family. So this is really nothing to read here, but I do want to. I won't say that, but I want to click on this right here. We'll face recall vote, and I want to see what this recall vote is about. Oakland Mayor Sheng Tao will face recall election. Can't see that. Recall election. So let's read this here. I have not read this story here. Does Oakland Mayor Sheng Tao deserve to keep her job or get the boot after less than 2 years? That's the question voters will have to answer, likely in November during the general election. The campaign trying to remove Oakland Mayor submitted enough signatures to place the recall on the ballot. The Oakland City Clerk confirmed it this afternoon. And this was written this afternoon. This was written June 18th. This is 3 days ago as I'm recording this. Alameda County Registrar of Voters Tim Dupuy said his office completed the verification of petitions on June 14th and was found to be sufficient. He said next steps will be determined by the city of Oakland. The recall campaign needed to collect 25,000 registered voters' signatures before July. That's it? Just 25,000? I don't know how. I gotta look and see how big the city of Oakland is. Okay, so the population is 430,000. So, those obviously are kids and people who can't vote, whatever. Officials said they received 40,000 and nothing were verified to qualify the measure for ballot under state law. The recall will most likely be folded into November general election. Alameda County District Attorney Pamela Price is also facing a recall election in November, having the mayor and DA face same election. Wow. The recall against Tao was launched in January by a group of activists who blame her for administration for the rise in crime that's starting during the pandemic and has remained a major problem. I don't know if you should be blaming mayors for the crime problems. I mean, if people don't want to become police officers, if they're facing a financial crisis, I don't know how much of that can be blamed on her. Corruption, yeah, but I don't know. I would not be in favor of that solely for that. They also blame Tao for the Oakland A's leaving the city and for not securing a state grant to help combat retail theft. Tao to fire former police chief, and it was a mistake to fire former police chief LaRon Armstrong. The recall is spearheaded by Brenda Harbin Forte, a former Alameda County Superior Court judge and police commissioner. Harbin Forte became more critical of Tao after the mayor removed her from the police commission last June after her term expired. Harbin Forte has told the press she wasn't motivated by personal resentments to start the recall. In interviews, she accused Tao of having blood on her hands because of ongoing violent crime in the city. The spokesman for the recall is Seneca Stott, a local activist who unsuccessfully ran for mayor. Scott also leads an advocacy organization called Neighbors Together Oakland that is currently appealing a cease and desist order from the California Attorney General for failing to register as a nonprofit. Harbin Forte and Scott did not respond for a request for review. Harbin Forte previously refused to speak with the Oakland side, saying the recall campaign chooses to engage with the media's entities and individuals with shared values. On X, Scott tweeted a copy of the email from Oakland City Clerk. There's signatures. No, so the last thing I want to look into, there had a police shooting. All right, I'm going to leave it off there. So the last thing that they discussed, and I'm probably going to do a story about this, is there was this guy talked about a mass shooting, and it's not. I don't like when they talk about mass shootings. I don't like that. That bothers me. Mass shootings are very, very specific as to what they are in detail, and to claim that everything is a mass shooting. Mass shootings are not people getting shot in nightclubs and all that kind of stuff. So I may look into that story a little bit. But let me know your thoughts, your opinions. More mayoral trouble, you know, corruption, really bad. Let me know your thoughts and your opinions.